Think tanks are basically institutions which do research on public policy issues. That is, basically they research what governments, local governments and other public bodies do as part of the fulfillment of their task. Think tanks also do advocacy, that is, they come up with certain ideas of not only what those policies are, but what they should be, and then try to persuade either the government or the public opinion that such policies should be implemented, introduced. So, for example, a think tank may believe that the country is too much centralized and local government should have more power, and then they would come up with a detailed plan of how this decentralization can be done and try to persuade the government to implement such changes. Think tanks may also believe that a country should join the European Union, come up with a plan and try to persuade the government to implement this plan. This is, of course, on a very big general level, but think tanks also do much more detailed policy proposals about implementing certain ideas, and very often they can be quite successful because governments are usually quite conservative and they need this impulse from the outside, new ideas, new information. The thing is that, and a challenge for think tanks is that those ideas should be always both daring but also realistic and always based on some research, on some detailed knowledge of a given policy area. As regards the challenges for think tanks these days for Ukraine, I think that the main challenge is to learn European integration functioning, learn European policies, and then help both the government and the people in general understand these policies and learn to prepare the country for implementing these policies. Because whether Ukraine will join the EU in the nearest future or in a more, or if it is a longer-term perspective, the impact of being an EU neighbor on Ukraine will be always very high, and both different levels of government should be prepared for that, and think tanks need to help the government understand and implement EU policies. I think that there is a lot to gain from the cooperation between Ukrainian and Polish think tanks. This is because Poland has come through a very interesting period of adjusting to European Union requirements, of negotiating with the EU the terms of Poland's membership in the EU, of conducting EU referendum and persuading public opinion that the deal is worth signing. And then we've had already 5 years of being member of this club. And this is a very different experience as well, because as a member you also have influence as to how how European Union functions. So all this wealth of experience is also shared by Polish think tanks, which participated in every level of this process. And I think this experience can be shared with our Ukrainian colleagues, whom I am sure that they will have plenty of ways of putting that kind of information and knowledge to some good use.